What's going on, guys? It's Rage and welcome back to the channel. Hope you all had a nice holiday break and start to the new year. Unlike last year, as we head into 2024, I wanted to give an update on Call of Duty PC as a whole. Mostly, not much has changed with the status of a lot of the games from last year, but there have been a few significant changes that I would like to address here at the start of the video. As a majority of the information hasn't changed from last year, I'm going to consolidate a lot of it, so do keep an eye on the timestamps in the description below for everything you need to know. If you're curious about a game's population and where to join servers on certain games, have a look at both Steam charts and Game Tracker. You'll be able to get an idea of a game's population and find servers to join within them. As a quick disclaimer, the information presented in this video is subject to change. Everything that I am going off of is currently what I know as of this video going public on January 1st, 2024. Any significant changes or updates will be in the pinned comment. If I have not updated anything in the pinned comment, then nothing has changed to my knowledge, and just go with the information presented in the video. Again, do have a look at the timestamps to find the information that you need, and please do share this video around to spread the word. Now, let's go ahead and jump straight into this. The very first thing I want to clear up right away is the whole what Call of Duties are safe to play, which ones should you avoid, the RAD and Rxqe exploits, everything like that. To be as crystal clear as I possibly can, a lot of the older games are simply not safe to play due to their outdated security. You can play them on Steam if you really want to, and in some cases you may not have any problems. However, I would personally recommend playing the games on clients where applicable. Steam Call of Duty from the original Modern Warfare 2 to Call of Duty World War II are simply to be played at your own risk. The older Call of Duties will never be 100% completely safe to play, as a lot of the vulnerabilities are so deeply coded into the old games that the developers can only put band-aid fixes on them, like we saw with Steam Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 4, and Cold War throughout the course of 2023. With that being said though, there are plenty of exceptions, like if you're going to be playing single-player offline campaign, zombies, you will be fine and are at the least amount of risk. Every single game that does not have a server browser and runs its multiplayer off of P2P connections are more at risk. I would be very cautious to play any Call of Duty from the original Modern Warfare 2 to CoD World War II, with the exception of Black Ops 1 if you're going to play them on Steam without any protection. I again would highly recommend playing the client versions of these games, all of which you can find information on in the description and the Alterware and Plutonium sections of this video here later on. You're more than welcome to play the games on Steam, but I would be very cautious if you're going to. If you're worried about any of that in the slightest, then simply play the client versions with server browsers. As I just mentioned, these older games will never be 100% safe to play, as the security and code have become very outdated. However, like we saw over the previous year, the developers have put some band-aid fixes out there to alleviate some of the major problems. Back in July of 2023 and going into August, Steam Modern Warfare 2 was updated to prevent a worm from spreading by simply playing the game. Black Ops 4 and Black Ops Cold War were updated a handful of times to prevent the usage of tools that can crash your game. However, this again does not mean that it will ever be a 100% concrete fix, meaning no new issues will ever pop up again. I've shown this clip before, but I'm gonna go ahead and play it again for you all, and I want you to listen to what is being said. This clip comes from a cheat provider showing him in a Discord kicking off a streamer on Cold War.
Yeah, I sent him the migrating host packet. The one from like BO3, bro. That they never fucking patched.
My understanding and implication of the wording is that this is the reason why we saw not only the same crashing problems on all of the Black Ops games from Black Ops 2 to Black Ops Cold War, but it could also tie into the reason why we see so many of these Rcce and RAD exploits. These exploits are so deeply rooted into the codes of these old games that, again, they can only put these band-aid fixes on them, and it's a part of the reason as to why I would imagine that all of the Call of Duties going forward are being made on the same engine. In short, I would say the least amount of risk comes from the following games on Steam: CoD 1, CoD 2, Call of Duty 4, World at War, and Black Ops 1. All of these games are solid choices due to the multiplayers being run off of server browsers. For every other game from the original Modern Warfare 2 to Call of Duty World War II, I would be very cautious if you're going to play them on the Steam version and not on their client versions. The two biggest red flags that I would avoid playing on Steam are the original Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2, as I have heard that's where a majority of the issues come from, and neither of which received updates on the security to the game over the past year. So once again, to be absolutely clear, some games are safer to play now, but it will never be 100% safe. And if that bothers you, then simply do not play the games without protection or without being on the client versions of them if available. If you're going to play on Steam, play them at your own risk. In my personal experience, I have thankfully not run into too many issues when playing some of the Steam games without protection, and in most cases, I would imagine that you'll be fine. However, the risk still being out there is a thing, and if you're uncomfortable with that, then don't risk it. If you're looking for the safest option to play the older games, I will now be covering that in the next sections. In case you missed it, in May of 2023, Activision sent out cease and desist to the SM2 project and XLabs. SM2 is no longer in development, and clients such as IW4X for Modern Warfare 2, IW6X for Ghosts, and S1X for Advanced Warfare were shut down. However, if you are interested in playing the client versions of these games, join into the new Alterware Discord for more information. They've recently put out a new launcher and brand new updates for IW4X, so now is a good time to check them out if you're interested. Installing the new Alterware launchers are very simple. Once you have the game installed, you download the launcher and drop it into the directory of the game that you are trying to play. Run the launcher, let it do its thing. And as you can see here, it updated my old IW4X installation and files, then I was all good to go. Most of you may already be familiar with Plutonium. I would highly recommend getting into Plutonium, especially if you are looking into playing Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2. World at War and Black Ops 1 are available on Plutonium, but are not super populated to my knowledge. Despite the cease and desist, Plutonium is still up and running, and that I would imagine it's due to them integrating Steam verification checks, meaning you must own the game on Steam. If you're looking to purchase some Call of Duties on Steam, I would recommend looking at websites like G2A, CD Keys, and Kingwin for discounts. You must own the games on Steam. Torrented versions will not work. I will say though, for Modern Warfare 3 on Steam, I do believe you can download the MW3 dedicated server tool, which will install the full game of Modern Warfare 3 if you do not already own it or have it installed. And you can use that as your installation for Modern Warfare 3 to get it working with Plutonium as it is provided by Steam. Plutonium is very easy to set up. All you need to do is simply link the installation path in your launcher to the game and you're good to go. If you need any more help or information, please feel free to ask in the Plutonium and Alterware Discords for further assistance. Now I'm going to cover every single game in my recommendations for the best way to play them. As I mentioned at the start, not a lot of things have truly changed, so I'll be giving you all a quick rundown of each game and where to go if you have more questions or need any more information. For Call of Duty 1, I highly recommend playing this on the client version 1.1 on the neXus server. Join into the neXus Discord and updates for everything that you need. There's really nothing wrong with Call of Duty 1 on Steam besides the fact that it's just not simply populated to my knowledge. For Call of Duty 2, Steam is perfectly fine despite having to do some troubleshooting with it to get it working. You will need to copy your steam.dll and paste that into your CoD 2 directory, as well as double checking your service pack and running it as an administrator. I would personally recommend joining into the Meatbot server for some good chaotic fun. That's a server that I've played on for years here on the channel. I would also look into CoD 2 Game Tracker to find other servers if you're interested. For Call of Duty 4, Steam is perfectly fine as well. However, you will need to install CoD 4X to play it properly. The Steam version of CoD 4 will have you on version 1.8. You will need to be on CoD 4X version 21.1 as of this video going up to play the game. As a very quick installation tutorial, even if you're just booting up CoD 4 for the very first time, you can simply open your console by hitting the tilde key and typing /connect 178.33.157.21:28958 to connect into C4S. This is the main team deathmatch server that I've spent the last 7 or so years playing on. When you connect to the server, it will load up shipment and give you a prompt to auto-install the latest version of CoD 4X. You can also manually install it by downloading it, putting it into your mods folder, and running the install command. C4S is a high XP server, so it doesn't take very long to level up, but if you would like to be level 55 with Unlock All, I do have an MP data file in my Discord that you can use. One big question about CoD 4 PC that I've gotten a lot is if controller support is a thing. As of right now, it is currently not on CoD 4. As of right now, the only way to play with a controller on CoD 4, and even most Call of Duties on PC, would be to play in Steam Big Picture mode, but I truly wouldn't recommend that as the inputs are very delayed, there's no aim assist, it's just really not worth using. Controller support on CoD 4 PC isn't a thing, at least not yet. My man Duar was working on it, I don't know if he still is, but there is a possibility it could come to the game. If it does end up coming to the game, I will keep you all posted on that in the pinned comment. You'll notice here in CoD 4, I do have the Xbox HUD on, so it looks like I'm playing with a controller, but I'm actually not. This is just a modded HUD that you can also get from my Discord if you want, but it's not a necessity at all. Another big question about CoD 4 that I get a lot is, how do I download ProMod or join into ProMod servers? You download and play ProMod by simply connecting to an active ProMod server. That's it. I would highly recommend joining into the UnitedPromod server and their Discord. That's the server that I've played on when I go to make my ProMod videos. The mod will be downloaded when you connect into the server, or again, you can join into their Discord and get even more assistance and players if you are really just looking to play some ProMod. Do keep an eye on the game tracker though for more servers as well. I did spend some time last year covering how to record demos, what FPS to play on and such. I would highly recommend recording demos if you're going for clips. Keep the demo sizes under 2,000 kilobytes. They're located in your main directory or in your mods folder if you're recording a demo on a loaded mod. I would also highly recommend playing on a max of 250 FPS as it's the perfect mix of jump height and distance. Do not exceed 333 FPS or it'll just feel like you're gliding on ice. Have a look back at last year's video if you'd like a little more in-depth look at it. Seriously, if you're sniping, please record demos. Last year I mentioned that World at War on PC was not worth playing on Steam due to the broken key issue. The good news is this issue was resolved last year, and now you're able to buy World at War, create a profile, and go online with no problems. World at War on Steam now is completely worth it. The PDG server is the most populated one, but again, do keep an eye on Game Tracker for other servers if you're interested. You can still use the Steam files for Plutonium World at War, and you can join into the Steam servers via Plutonium, but it's not a necessity anymore due to the Steam key issue being fixed. I highly recommend this game if you're wanting to play it. Over the past year in 2023, the original Modern Warfare 2 on PC went through a couple of changes and did thankfully have some solid improvements to the overall security of the game. Like I said, this does not mean it's entirely safe to play, and this is where things can get a little rocky due to the matchmaking system in play not being on dedicated servers. The good news is, they did address a massive worm exploit, and in my recent experience of playing Steam Modern Warfare 2, I've had zero problems playing it. I would still recommend getting involved in the new IW4X by joining the Alterware Discord to get started and back up to date with everything. On the client version of the game, you'll be able to play on dedicated servers and have the ability to uncap your FOV and FPS unlike Steam. You can play Steam MW2 if you really want to, just note that you'll be locked at 65 FOV and 90 FPS. But do be cautious. I did mention last year that Steam Modern Warfare 2 was going to be a necessity for SM2, but that is no longer the case. As I mentioned earlier in the video, SM2 did receive a cease and desist from Activision, shutting down the development of the game. Long story short, SM2 did go through an engine change as IW4 here for Modern Warfare 2 was limiting them in what they wanted to do with the game, and they went to change the engine to the Modern Warfare Remastered H1 engine. I think what went wrong was not the engine change in itself, but it wasn't explicitly stated that you would have to own Modern Warfare Remastered on Steam to play. I would imagine it was viewed as piracy for Modern Warfare Remastered, and that's why the cease and desist came through, not just for SM2, but XLabs as well. And it's also the reason as to why all of the torrent links for the clients were removed. It is extremely sad that we'll never see SM2 come to life, but I think this goes without saying that I don't think there will be any restarting of the project. What's done is done. As for Black Ops 1 on Steam, ditto to what I said last year. Steam BO1 is still a very viable option. You're playing on a server browser, so you're on good security. You can use the dev console to unlock your FPS and set your FOV. Multiplayer will mostly offer EU TDM servers. There's an NA Nuketown 24/7 server. Overall, a fantastic pickup if you're missing some classic Black Ops. The OG Modern Warfare 3 is a game that I would not advise playing on Steam without an anti-RCE. If you're looking to play MW3 on PC, I would highly recommend just playing it on Plutonium. Modern Warfare 3 on Steam is of course still playable, but it did not receive any sort of security update, and it's pretty unlikely that it will. Not to mention, the matchmaking on the game has been busted for a few years now. It is also FOV and FPS capped at 65 and 90. Plutonium is just simply the better option across the board for gameplay and security. Unlike OG MW3, I would not advise playing Black Ops 2 on Steam, as this is one of the games where I've heard the most RCE stories from. The last time I played Steam Black Ops 2, I didn't have any issues, but again, like I've been saying, this is a play at your own risk if you're going to play it on Steam. I would highly recommend playing Black Ops 2 on Plutonium, as it is by far the most populated client with plenty of servers to choose from. Definitely just play Plutonium if you want to play Black Ops 2. I'm going to cover both Call of Duty Ghosts and Advanced Warfare here in the same section, as the information from last year's video hasn't changed very much. Both Ghosts and Advanced Warfare are playable on Steam, but the population isn't super high, and you may need to VPN to the NA or EU to find lobbies depending on the time of day and the day of week. Steam's matchmaking are P2P, so there may be the risk of crashing exploits, but I haven't heard anything about severe issues plaguing these games. There's usually less than 100 or so players on Steam playing both games. There is still support for IW6X and S1X provided by Alterware, so if you're really looking to play these games, then just check out the status on Alterware or hope you can get into the TDMs on Steam. Now, Black Ops 3 did go through quite a few changes over the course of the year on both the Steam and client side of things. On the Steam side of Black Ops 3, it is still playable of course, but it is a game that does have its fair share of crashing issues. An absolute necessity for Steam Black Ops 3 is the community patch made by Sirius. This will protect you from crashing, it spoofs your player ID, and unlocks your FPS, as the Steam update from May of 2022 absolutely bricked Black Ops 3's performance on Steam. The very long story short with that is the update caused the Steam cloud to ping a truth table too much. It somehow ties into searching for DLC maps and lobbies, and it takes a massive hit to your performance because of that. Unfortunately, installing all of the DLC on Steam does not alleviate the issue, and I do apologize if I'm not wording it the best, but that's basically the gist of it. Running the community patch will fix those problems, and also it makes it so no one can join you unless you tick that friends only box. The way the community patch works is you open it, you type your name in, tick friends only, and launch BO3 on Steam. That's it. You do not need to enter a password in that box. That's just there to be set if, say for example, you wanted to have your friends join you for a game of zombies. All of your friends would need to be running the patch as well. Now, Black Ops 3 on Steam did receive an update back in March of 2023 that did fix the 4 known RcE exploits at the time, but it was extremely short-lived as not even 2 days later, the security was outdated and people started having problems again. This is the thing with these band-aid fixes. There's no telling how long it'll take for those who make these cheat tools and such to crack the new security updates. Shortly after this though, we had the release of the Black Ops 3 client, and as most of you may know, we had the BOIII Client all throughout the course of the year. It was a game that I thoroughly played on my live streams, made a whole lot of videos on, and despite the cease and desist that happened in May, the BOIII Client was still up and running. If you're still interested in checking it out, the link to the Reaction Gaming web archive is in the description, and read it thoroughly as it will definitely answer some questions for you. Unfortunately nowadays the client isn't super populated for multiplayer anymore, as its life cycle just ran the course over the course of the year, as it goes with really all clients, but I would still highly recommend this as a really solid alternative if you're looking to play some zombies and custom zombies as well. Like I just mentioned a moment ago, the cease and desist stopped the development on the project, so there's no more updates for it. It is still playable and usable in its current state though. Now as of recent, the Alterware guys were going to take it over and make T7X, but that was shut down pretty quickly by Momo, the original guy behind the BOIII Client. The only way we're going to get a new Black Ops 3 client is if someone creates one from the ground up, not using Momo's assets. When/if there is any information on that, I'll keep you all posted. Back on the Steam side of things, the multiplayer is unfortunately riddled with people who are cheating, and it's just not very fun to play. At least this is what a lot of the recent lobbies looked like when I was playing it. I still don't quite understand how people unironically have fun doing this for more than 5 minutes, but that's besides the point. So if you do want to play Black Ops 3 on Steam, be sure you're running the community patch, and do give Anthony a follow on Twitter to stay up to date with Black Ops 3. The same Steam update that I just mentioned a moment ago in the Black Ops 3 section is what killed Infinite Warfare multiplayer on PC, and unfortunately, there's still been no update for it. Infinite Warfare is simply not worth it on PC until the matchmaking get fixed. That is if it ever does. If you aren't already aware, the problem with Infinite Warfare is if you do manage to get into a game, it will kick you out with the error message, "Our level fast file is different from the server, aborting connection." That Steam update in May of 2022 somehow managed the Steam side level fast files, and Infinite Warfare hasn't been updated to match whatever the new fast files are on the server side. You can play it in private matches with friends or play zombies together, or of course play the campaign, but online multiplayer is simply broken. There also was the IW7 client mod that was in development, but to my knowledge, nothing has come of it. I would be extremely cautious of Infinite Warfare on PC, even in private matches, as there are still some problems that have come up. A Twitch viewer of mine said he got ratted while playing zombies, and if you saw Bricky's video on the matter back in August, he had his own personal experience with it. Simply put, Infinite Warfare is not worth it on PC until there is a major update for it. Modern Warfare Remastered on Steam is roughly in the same state as it was last year. Steam multiplayer is still playable, and there's still the groups that you can join in and join off each other to play. Thankfully, there isn't too much wrong with the game security-wise as far as I know. The issue is mostly population, so if you want to play Modern Warfare Remastered on Steam, just try queuing for TDM and VPNing to the EU if need be. Do know that the game is horribly optimized on PC, and most graphic cards nowadays, say if you're on a RTX Nvidia card or AMD equivalent, do not populate your shader cache as it will cause the game to crash. If you try to play the campaign, do disable your preload shader cache entirely, as that will also cause some campaign missions to bug out and crash. There was an update to the H1 client. Over the year while the whole cease and desist ordeal was going on, the H1 website went down. Thankfully, there is a new website in Discord to join in if you are still looking to play. And even so recently, the Discord server hosted a community event where we all hopped on and played some ported Advanced Warfare maps, and it was loads of fun. I really am hoping to see more community events for Modern Warfare Remastered. I'll absolutely be there if there's more. So if you're interested, definitely join into the MWR H1 Discord. Call of Duty World War II on PC for a while was one of the longest running COD games on Steam with very little issues. Not much has changed from last year. You could still play it, and you'll mostly find TDM lobbies, Shipment 1944, or maybe even the occasional war lobby. But I did notice an increase in the amount of people cheating, usually the ones spin-botting and posting everyone's IPs in chat. So do be aware of that if you really want to play COD World War II on Steam. Also, there were those rumblings of an S2 COD World War II client, but there is no official word on that yet. As of right now, there is no official COD World War II client. I will keep you guys posted on that though. Black Ops 4 PC surprisingly did see some updates earlier in 2023 addressing some of the crashing exploits, and we did see some fixes. But again, unfortunately, it was only a matter of time until cheats were updated. The good news is, while I did spend a good amount of time playing BO4 this year, going back and unlocking Dark Matter, I thankfully didn't run into too many issues at all. It was a mostly clean experience. There is still the chance of cheaters running around, but I haven't heard of anything too significant since the updates earlier this year. Do note that if you're going to play BO4 on PC, you have to install the full game. It is 100 160 gigs to play anything. You cannot modify the install if you're looking just to play multiplayer or zombies. You have to install the full thing. Also, for multiplayer, you will have to region switch on Battle.net depending on the time of day to find lobbies. If you're someone like me who lives on the east coast of the United States, earlier in the afternoon you'll have to switch to EU while it's early evening for them, and then you can switch back to the Americas once it's later on into the afternoon and evening. Also, to my knowledge, there is/was the Project T8 Shield client for Black Ops 4 that did have some recent playtests, but I'm unsure of its current status on development. I will post an update regarding that whenever the time comes, but for now, if you're really gunning for some BO4, feel free to check it out if you've got the hard drive space. I did quickly want to bring up the Modern Warfare 2 Remastered client once again. Even though there is no multiplayer, this is still worth checking out if you're interested in playing some Spec Ops and survival mods. You must own MW2 Remastered on Battle.net though. I'll leave a link to the Discord in the description below. For the Warzone era of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2019, Cold War, Vanny G, the new Modern Warfare 2 and MW3, I again feel like this goes without saying, but with crossplay, you're more than good to find lobbies with very minimal issues. Black Ops Cold War was subject to quite a few updates over 2023 with security updates for crashing tools, and since the most recent updates over the summer, I haven't heard much of anything to worry about. There is always a chance of people cheating that do have access to tools on these games, but thankfully they're updated consistently enough to not be a major issue to your security as far as I know. However, unlike everything in this video, like I've said numerous times, it is subject to change. One thing to note though with Black Ops Cold War is that as of recent, there is a new feature in these cheat tools that allows people to get nukes after simply getting a 5 kill streak. Wow! There it is, dude! Homie got 6 kills and called in a nuke. So if you're getting nuked by people who clearly aren't doing well enough to actually get a nuke, this is why. With all of that being said, that's going to wrap up the Call of Duty PC updates and everything you need to know as we head into 2024. Again, I'll do my best to post any major updates in the pinned comment below. I really do hope this helped you all out and gave you all some more insight to the matter. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. It's been Rage, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take care, everyone.